2-3 years ago, Dustin reached out to me, and he sent me some workouts to start trying, and the rest is history at that point. I started to get my butt kicked. My name is Ara Mulkey, and I'm a professional ice climber. I first started ice climbing in 1996 and started with a friend taking me out and said, hey, you should try this ice climbing thing. And I just fell in love with it from the start. After a few years, I started to pick up sponsorships and things like that. And today I'm considered a professional ice climber. I have over 300, almost 300 first ascents. I think it's important for people to understand that they can have a work life and they can go out and pursue a passion at 100%. It doesn't have to be 50%. What's in your mind can limit you, and you can do whatever you want to do if you have the motivation and the drive. I have become a professional ice climber while having a full-time job as well. I think what I love about ice climbing is just like it's here today and can be gone tomorrow. And to think about climbing this 100-foot, 200-foot, 500-foot chunk of ice that maybe in a week or a month from now will be completely gone, and that in many ways can be the only access to that mountain. I know of a ton of places in the South Fork where the only way to access some of these valleys and places is via ice. Because when the ice is gone, the rock is too crappy to climb, and it's really cool to be able to go to these things and see these awesome, incredible features of ice and walls that are only accessible in the wintertime and via ice climbing. I think, ice climbing is as dangerous as you want it to be, right? Like you can hop in your car and drive to the supermarket, or you can hop in a race car and race it, 150 miles an hour around a racetrack. I mean, I've been doing it for 20 years, so I try to keep it pretty safe and take as many measures of caution that I possibly can. But there are times where you just get into situations where it's like, okay, this is bad, and you really got to manage your mental game and keep your head together in order to come through the other side of that. Most of the time in climbing, you don't usually on purpose put yourself into a situation where it's a life or death situation, or you're potentially looking at a 20, 30 foot, 40 foot fall that could seriously injure you. It usually kind of just happens in that moment. And for me, I end up just kind of like tuning everything else out. Everything's tuned out. I'm focused on exactly what I need to do in that exact moment. I don't know, it's funny. I think there's parts of it that people can learn and adapt to. And the first thing you got to do is be willing to put yourself in that situation. You've got to be willing to push that line, whether it's in the gym or outside, whatever it is. You've got to be willing to be uncomfortable. The more you push yourself into that uncomfortable, then the uncomfortable starts to become comfortable. I definitely know people they don't want to be uncomfortable. And being comfortable is nice. But if you want to take things to the next level, you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable.
Hey, Mulkey.
I started with the 30-30 because I was going to be on the road for a couple of weeks in the desert. I was actually really surprised, like what kind of workout I could get from without any weights, without anything. I kind of blew my mind. And then when I got back, I started the elite program. And I've been doing that elite program now for, I guess, about 6-7 weeks. So I'm almost towards the end of that program. Yeah, I think what I like about the Mountaintop Training is there is a little bit of everything. Like there's some really good strength stuff. There's a lot of cardio stuff. And I like how it mixes in. I do have to have that good balance because in the climbing world, you got to get to these things. So you've got to like hike 3 hours with a heavy, with a 50-pound pack, whatever it might be, into these climbs, and then be boom, 100% ready to go up this ice climb. And I found with partners and early on, that was the thing that was kind of setting me apart, was my fitness level from a cardio programming piece. And I thought the programming did a really good job of mixing that strength piece in, which for me is, the climbing part, but then also, the fitness in your legs, the fitness in your lungs to be able to go out and go for a long day. I'd say for that person that's struggling to get off the couch it starts with you. You know, it starts with motivation and you know, complacency is a problem. It breeds, I think, some pretty bad things. And if you want to be successful and you want to feel strong and feel good about yourself, you've got to be willing to push yourself to those uncomfortable places.